Good morning, Chainbreakers. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome and come on in to Chainbreakers 365. Good morning. It is Tuesday, September the 3rd, 2019, and this is going to be a fantastic day because that's the day I choose for it to be. Welcome and come on in. This is the second edition of today's edition of Chainbreakers 365. I'm going to try this again. I had some internet issues early this morning and it kicked me back out, but I've now jumped onto my hotspot and hopefully we'll get a consistent signal there. So, hi, I'm Brad Smith. I'm the host of Chainbreakers 365 and the creator of hashtag Uplift and Rise. I want to welcome you here today. We're going to get in and talk about who is it you want to be. So there's a lot of different areas in your life, and we're really talking about creating a brand and who it is that you want to be, what it is that you want people to think of you when they hear your name. Now, there's several different areas of your life, and there might be some different versions of you in each of those those environments, but there's also an interconnecting underlying thread in each of them. You are probably a different person at home than you are at work. You are probably a little bit different person at home or at work than you are at church. You probably are a different person in each of those places than you are in your friendships and your social relationships. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And we're also going to get into what those brands mean. So I'm going to ask you to take the time and just think for just a second. When I mention customer service and I mention the name Nordstrom's, what is it that immediately pops into your head? What is it you think of? And if it's fantastic service, people that are going to go out of their way, people that are really going to go to find out what it is that you need, what it is you're looking for, what it is you want, and go out of their way to fill that need, that's who I think of when I think of Nordstrom's. When I think of Amazon and customer service, I think of having a huge selection of products. I'm going to be able to get what I want delivered right to my door in a very short period of time at a very, very strong competitive price. So that's what I think of when I think of Amazon. When I mention customer service and I mention the cable company or the phone company, what I think of in customer service is I think of I'm calling them on the phone, and first one, or is it even going to be somebody in the United States? Are they going to be able to speak English very well? Am I even going to be able to understand them? They're probably going to ask me like 50 different questions only to put me on hold, transfer me to somebody else who's going to ask 50 questions, probably the same questions all over again, and they still haven't even bothered to figure out why I called in the first place. That's just to be able to start listening, right? So are they really servicing and serving us, or are we serving them? Are we giving them what they need, or are they giving what we need? So I'm going to ask you a little bit of a question, and I want you to think about something at home. When it comes to being a dad, being a mom, being a grandparent, being a sister or brother, being a child of your parents, right? What is it those other parties think of when they think of you? And is that consistent with who you want to be? Is that consistent with the way you want them to think of you? When you walk into church and somebody says, oh, and Jeremy George, thank you for being back. So there's Jeremy George. What is it they're going to think of when they think of you? And is that what you want them to think of? When your friends mention your name, are they going to have a smile on their face? Or are they really going to go, frown, sigh? What is it they think of when they think of you? Right? When you're at work, what is it your coworkers, what is it your bosses think of when they think of you? What is it you want them to think? And are those things consistent? So we need to stop and take the time and again live life with intention. And in that, when we walk into those environments, we need to stop and think, is this, am I being the person that my boss wants me to be? Am I being the person my coworkers want me to be? Am I being the person my parents want me to be? Am I being the person my spouse wants me to be? Am I being the person my children want me to be? Am I being the person that my church wants me to be? Several months ago, and if you've kind of heard some of the background on my most recent trek into all of what has now become what part of what you're enjoying today, is this past spring, I had a voice, call it what you want. I have my own opinion, but I had this voice speak into my head that said, "You're playing small. You're playing small." In other words, to me, that meant you're not being everything you can or everything you should be. Now, it never was defined. It never was said whether this is a church, at home, at work, at just being who I am in business and whatever. It was never defined. So I took that to a much larger standpoint, and I'm trying to grow in each of those. So who was it I started to be? I started having more regular meetings with my pastor and talking about church and where we're going as a church and participating in the praise and worship team at church. We're talking about programs that might be well instituted there. At work, I'm getting more and more connected to a lot of my dealers. I'm trying to bring that extra value that when I walk away or when I leave there, they said, "Man, this was a good meeting. Am I ever glad he was here?" Right? I'm trying to bring more value to those that I work for. And hopefully they're recognizing and appreciating the value that I'm bringing there. I'm trying to be a better husband, more connected to my wife, more responsible for taking the initiative to do things in my home and on my own, trying to more reach out to more of my family. And being as I'm now an empty nester, that takes more effort than what it used to because they're not right here at home for me to turn to. So I started having to push myself and reaching out and doing a lot more. It's also in what I have always felt my calling to be, and that was helping others fulfill their purpose that God has created for them. So that was in that I was also horrified by what I was finding when I got on social media. I was horrified by the negativity, by the well, you've seen it, right? You're getting it. So I wanted to create a change in social media. And with that came the creation of hashtag uplift and rise. I wanted a different timeline or a different news feed when I went into social media to know what I was looking at, and that it was going to be more positive, bring value, help people improve their lives. And then there was another one because it took off in itself. People are being touched and changed every single day, but that's by the group, and I needed to be playing my part in that. And that's where Chainbreakers 365 came from. Helping people break the shackles, break the chains that have people locked in place and kept from fulfilling the destiny, the purpose that God has laid out for them, the plan that they have. Because Christ came not only to bring us life, but to bring us more with more abundance. And I mentioned this the other day in church. Adam and Eve came to bring us life. So when Christ came to bring us life, what was the Bible talking about? What was Christ talking about? What were the disciples talking about? They came to bring us that abundant life. The life that God has planned for you. The life that you should be walking in and fulfilling. the shoes you should fill and walk proudly and high and stand tall every single day and knowing you are fulfilling your destiny. Are you doing that? Are you doing that today? Are you really the person that you know you should be? Are you really the person that you know you have the potential to become? And if not, why not? Jeff Baker, thanks so much for joining here today. This is running a little bit late because we had to start late because I had some internet difficulties and we had to stop and start all over again. So who is it you want to be? When you're dealing with your customers, who is it they want to do business with? Who is it they want to think of when they think of your place of employment? If you're in sales, and Jeremy and Jeff, I know both of you are, when they come in to do business with you, what is it they think of when they walk into your place of business? What predisposition do they already have before they deal with the very first person? So I want you to stop and think. When you get into work today, first of all, stop when you pull into the lot and look around. Look around at what that first impression of the way your business is laid out, where the parking is, the appearance, whether the trash is picked up, whether it is clean, whether it is well kept, because that's part of the first impression they're going to have before they even meet the first person. Is it a place they want to come do business with? Daniel White, thanks so much for joining. I saw the little light jump up there a second ago. Thanks for being here. So what is that impression that you want to create? Next, what is the impression of the very first person that now goes out to them and meets them and greets them? So, and I've heard this, Lisa Copeland talked about this not long ago, where somebody actually called in to her Cars Her Way radio show on iHeartRadio and talked about somebody going and opening the door and pulling somebody out of the car. That's where I would have jumped right back in and left. What is it that it says about your business? What impression are you creating when they pull up and all the lot lizards are out all over the place? And for those of you who are in the car business, you know exactly what I'm talking about. What is it means when people are out there smoking and laughing and joking, or they're in the rush to get to you, not because they want to serve you, but because they want to beat the other person that's standing out there next to them? What does that say to your customer? Is that warm or inviting, or are they scared before they've even got started? Have they been warmly welcomed? Have they been given the treatment that you want to give? And if not, I think I know the topic you need in your sales meeting this morning, because we need to change the way people think when they walk into your place of business. We need to create the customer service that goes above and beyond, that is different from the way they think of the place of employment that you're at, and how you are different than all the others, because you want, and your customers deserve that someplace different. So I'm asking you to choose your brand, choose who it is you want to become, and not only start bringing that value to customers, but start reaching out to them. Start reaching out in social media. Start reaching out and talking about your message. Start reaching out and bringing value to your customers before they even walk in the door, so that you can create that different image for you and for your customers, so they think of you differently before they even pull in. Are you doing that? And if not, why not? And if not now, when? Today is a great day. I want to thank you so much for joining in. I want to thank you so much for even joining in late, because this was a late show. Thanks so much for being here. I want to wish you guys a fantastic day. If this has been of value, then I ask that you reach out and hit that share button. Share this out with your friends. Share this out with your family. And if you're in the car business, okay, share it out to people in the same industry and other communities, because I know you want to be different. But share it out. Like this, say hi to me, whether it's now or in replay. Let me know this has been meaningful to you. Jeff, thanks so much. I'm glad it's meant something to you, and I thank you for saying so. But reach out and let people know, because I want to see you back again this time tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. every Monday through Friday, Eastern Standard Time. And if you have trouble finding us then or on replay, you can go to YouTube and find us there at Chainbreakers 365 also. Also, you can go to chainbreakers365.com. You can find some Chainbreakers merchandise there. You can also find all of these videos there as well. Thanks so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for Chainbreakers 365. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Take care. Bye now.